Podcasting 101 with me, your host, Rachel. This podcast is for female business owners and solopreneurs that are looking to start a podcast that adds to your own already awesome offering. I'll give you helpful advice that you can take away and use in your podcasting journey. I hope to answer those tricky questions that just keep you from starting. Once a month, I'll be joined by other female podcasters. They'll share their journey with you and offer tips and advice they discovered along the way. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you edit your podcast episodes. I'm not going to lie, this can get quite complicated, especially if you're not used to the tech. So there is a learning curve here. It depends on what you want to edit. So, for example, clipping the beginning and the end of a conversation, like when you have a guest interview and you've got some preamble and some postamble, thanking them, and you want to get rid of those, then this is fairly simple to do. And if you're using a platform like Anchor or potentially Alitu, which I mentioned in a previous episode, this is fairly simple to do in there. If you want to cut out a mistake or an interruption, perhaps someone's rang the doorbell or the guest has their kids or pet coming in, you know when that's going to take place, you listen to it and you want to clip that out. I mean, that is fairly simple as well, but it takes a little bit of fiddling about. And again, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it being raw, just leaving it as it is. I know plenty of podcasts that do this, but you have to bear in mind, if the quality of the episode or the quality of the sound, is not very good, it may put people off listening. So not only in the editing side of things, you're cutting out things that you don't want, we also need to look a little bit about how it sounds. Now, this is quite technical, and this is something that you might not want to do yourself. And again, like I said at the beginning, it is a bit of a learning curve. So speaking to this audio quality, your podcast manager or editor, if you have outsourced, would clean up the audio for you as well. These are things like dynamic leveling, and this just brings up the quiet parts up and the loud parts down, so it levels all the sound out. Maybe some noise reduction and a standardized volume level. There is a standardized volume for podcasts, and you can get this put on. There are effects in Audacity that I can do for this. There is lots of effects that you can learn and do and process your audio to go through. I've recently learned that Alitu does this for you. So as it uploads the file, whether you've recorded it within the platform or whether you have imported your audio, it will do this post-production element. So noise reduction, background noise, limiting the background noise, dynamic leveling, and the standardized volume. You can also edit in here too. This looks very similar platform to Anchor. I haven't used Alitu, but I have used Anchor, and it looks very similar. But again, it is still a little bit more complicated depending how deep you want to delve into the editing side of things. I mean, I don't want to scare you with all the tech, but I do feel that it is important to have the best sounding audio you can and have your podcast edited to how you want it to be and not compromise because of the tech aspect. Now, I'm not saying you have to cut out every and that people say. I don't like hearing myself say so all the time, so I may well edit those out of my episodes. But it is your personal choice how you want your episodes to be heard. If the tech is daunting to you, then I really would recommend that you outsource this part. So quite a short and sweet episode today. I'd love to hear from you guys about your editing experiences, whether you edit your podcast yourself or whether you have a podcast editor or podcast manager that manages it for you. And I'm really interested to know what type of software that you used and whether or not you found it hard please email me or DM me. All my social links are in the show notes. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please like, share and subscribe. Your support means so much to me. If there's a question or topic you'd like covering, then I'd love to hear from you. Find the podcast on Instagram @RachelBotfield and drop me a DM. Till next time, bye.